They're a way to find community at college, but over the years, too many lives have been lost at some fraternities during hazing rituals. These grieving parents think that might stop if young people knew their stories. Our Lisa Guerrero is here to tell some of them.
This is our son Ryan, who was killed due to idiocy at a hazing event.
This is my beautiful son, Colin Wyatt. He was 18 years old when he died from fraternity hazing.
This is our son Tim, who died as a result of a fraternity hazing event.
This is Adam Oakes. Death was due to a hazing incident, alcohol poisoning.
7 young men, all victims of hazing rituals like this.
I am telling you, no parent should ever send their child off to campus, to college, and not have them come home.
They were all told that they had to go down to the basement. I think they were all blindfolded.
This surveillance video shows a rare look at a booze-fueled hazing event, common in frats across the country, known as Big Brother Night or Pledge Dad Reveal Night.
It was the Pledge Dad Reveal Night. They were handed a bottle of alcohol. In Danny's case, he was handed a bottle of Tito's, and they were told to drink it.
That's Mary Pat and Tom Santulli's son, Danny, with a liter of vodka.
I believe it was taped to his hand.
Cops say Danny's pledge dad forced him to drink the equivalent of 20 shots, plus do a full beer bong. He later went into cardiac arrest from alcohol poisoning. In the video shared with us by the Santulli's attorney, David Bianchi, you can see Danny fall over. He later slides off this couch onto his head.
They don't know what to do. They're afraid to call 911, so they don't. And they pick him up, they drop him on his head. Surveillance video, you would think, would incentivize these guys not to do this stuff. But they do it anyway.
And this is Danny today, wheelchair-bound from permanent brain damage.
Danny is the most horribly injured fraternity pledge ever in the United States. He's blind, cannot speak.
He lost his vision and he cannot talk.
Jack and Wendy Abell says their son Ryan went through a similar frat hazing ritual at the University of Nevada in Reno.
It was a Big Brother reveal night where each of 30 pledges were handed a bottle of booze and a full 750 milliliter bottle of alcohol. In Ryan's case, it was 100 proof. And they were expected to drink the bottle. The goal was to also get them all drunk and vomiting.
Extremely intoxicated, Ryan later died from head trauma after falling down a flight of stairs. Timothy Piazza's parents say he fell down a flight of stairs after he was told to drink 18 shots in 82 minutes while pledging a frat at Penn State University.
It's not the same hazing that happened 20, 30 years ago. It is not just streaking and swallowing goldfish. It is hard alcohol, deadly hard alcohol.
We have a friend who's unconscious. He hasn't moved. He's probably in an ambulance.
Was there any alcohol or anything involved, do you know?
Yes, there is.
His parents say Timothy lay there in distress for over 12 hours before brothers called 911. According to published reports, there have been close to 80 college students who've died in hazing incidents connected to Greek life in the past 15 years. The vast majority of them related to alcohol abuse.
Adam Jeffrey Oakes, age 19, died suddenly on Saturday, February 27th, 2021 in Richmond, Virginia.
Just last year, freshman Adam Oakes died from alcohol poisoning after his big brother forced him to drink a handle of booze in under an hour.
My son was joining a fraternity, and his big brother bought him a handle of alcohol and coerced him to drink it in under an hour.
Andrew was Adam's big brother.
As part of a plea agreement, several members of the now permanently banned frat are speaking out publicly about what they did to Adam.
I was charged with misdemeanor hazing, and I think that was an accurate charge on my part. I think being the president of the fraternity, I had this position of power, and I chose the wrong path and the wrong road.
The video is part of an upcoming hazing docuseries called Protect This House.
In 2021, there were 6 deaths due to hazing.
Many of these parents now travel the country speaking to pledges and students, urging them to report hazing incidents.
Hazing's only reported 5 5% of the time.
Tyler Perino is one of the few to report it.
Big Brother night, that was the most I had ever drank in that short amount of time in my life.
He says on his Big Brother night at Delta Tau Delta, frat brothers hazed him with a bottle of whiskey and a six-pack, and then paddled him repeatedly.
So I was taken out on a stretcher from my dorm to the ambulance and then taken to the hospital.
His blood alcohol was nearly 3 times the legal limit.
It was the worst nightmare come true. We obviously are very lucky that he's still here with us.
Today, he and his mom, Lori, and all these folks want pledges to know it's okay to say no and walk away. And more importantly, not be afraid to call 911 if something goes wrong. In Danny Santulli's case,
no one called 911.
The Santulli's attorney says Andrew's Law in Florida, named after Andrew Kofi, a pledge who died from alcohol poisoning after being forced to drink an entire bottle of whiskey, should be enacted nationwide.
It says that if you are the first person to call 911 after a hazing event where somebody's in trouble, even if you're the person that did the hazing, even if you're the one who handed him the bottle of alcohol, if you're the first one to call 911 to try to save his life, or if you're administering CPR and trying to help him while help is on the way, you will not be prosecuted. You will have immunity.
How many of you believe that your loved one would be okay today if someone had called 911 earlier? Is there any way to stop fraternity hazing?
I think they need to tell their kids to understand all our stories, to understand what happened, because, kids think, well, it can't happen to me. It does happen, it did happen, it will happen again until things change.
My goal, and many of us parents, our goal is to speak to college students, to high school students, so that we can raise awareness. We do not want any other families in what is in this club of parents who have frankly lost their child senselessly to hazing. We want to make a difference, we want to educate, and we want to make sure that this does never happen again.
And we'll just keep fighting and we'll never give up.
The North American Interfraternity Council, which oversees fraternities, says they have spent enormous resources to educate students about the dangers of hazing and say they're working to strengthen current criminal and civil hazing penalties around the country.